are Locked On Lakers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Another big night for the Lakers. Lakers continue their winning ways, 3 straight wins. Luka faced his former team. Anthony Davis was in the building, and Luka and LeBron take over and lead the Lakers to the 3rd straight win. Just an amazing game, an amazing 4th quarter for this Laker team. We'll talk about it all, of course, on the Locked On Lakers postcast. I'm Dave Palet, again, a 30-year vet, of course, broadcasting in Southern California from Los Angeles down to San Diego. And my most fun I ever had was covering the Lakers for more than 10 years, being part of the great years of Kobe and Shaq, and seeing obviously what's coming along, watching the way the Lakers went from their time at the Forum to making the move to Staples to what they are today, and getting my chance to talk Laker basketball with you. Again, every single postcast right here, Locked On Lakers, Locked On Los Angeles. You can find every one of these podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, at the same time available on YouTube. I also want to mention Brian and Andy. If you want your Laker coverage every single day, don't forget about Brian and Andy, Locked On Los Angeles, Locked On Lakers. They do a great job, but I'm here for you for the postcast, and happy to do it, especially on nights like tonight, where the excitement of the Lakers taking on the Dallas Mavericks, and as Luka faces his old team. Anthony Davis was in the building tonight. Anthony Davis, of course, didn't play and isn't expected to play for a while. Wish him all the best, but at the same time, most Laker fans are extremely pleased with this trade and having Luka on this team. The fact that Luka is only 25 years old, has a birthday coming up, but when we think about Austin Reeves and we think about him being a young player in this league, that Luka is younger than him, that it only looks better for this franchise to know we have our superstar. So for Laker fans, it's a matter of who's the next superstar that's going to join him once LeBron James decides to hang it up. Well, it's a good thing that LeBron hasn't hung it up, because LeBron, when you needed him most, he came through tonight in the 4th quarter. There's so much to talk about in this game, and I understand a lot of people are going to feel this was a game that was too close and shouldn't have been close because Dallas is playing shorthanded, basically playing with the one-man team and Kyrie Irving. But for the Lakers, they're still trying to get their feet, find their rhythm, trying to figure out where things are. At the same time, Redick trying to find his substitutions, the right rotations, which guys play best on the court together. So for Laker fans, yeah, some things are a little bit frustrating. Look, I'm frustrated too when it's not a cakewalk game. The good news is this Laker team is getting better every single day. They're learning something every single day. Also, good news is the Lakers have a day off tomorrow. So they have a day to rest. They have a day to sit there and get their bodies straight. It's a long NBA season. Lakers, of course, will play Minnesota at home on Thursday night. Should be extremely exciting. More star power, I should say, as you're going to have some of the best players in the world on the floor in this game, and Minnesota, a team that the Lakers easily could face in the postseason. So there's always going to be a test for this Laker team and what they're going to do. Tonight was another test. And I think, when you talk about guys, or if you've ever been somewhere where you're at a place of work, and we're not even talking about being a professional athlete, where you're at a place of work and they say, we don't want you anymore. And it might be shocking to you. You don't root for those guys again. A matter of fact, you want to show those guys they made a mistake. The only people that would have made that deal sending Luka to Los Angeles is the Dallas Mavericks. There's not a team in the NBA that would have traded Luka. There's not an NBA fan out there that thinks Dallas got the better move. If you're saying that, it's because you know Anthony Davis and you're just friends with him. Everybody loves Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis is over 7 feet tall and he's over 30 years old, and his body starts breaking down. And we all know how this goes with big men in the NBA. Lakers, they fleeced the Dallas Mavericks. And so for Luka, it's, of course, a matter of winning a game, but also it's a big deal winning a game against his former team. I think once he faces the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas and the crowd there that wanted him to stay, you might see another performance like this where it seems like he's playing him against 5, and Luka just didn't shoot well. He didn't play within himself, but at the same time, he walks away with a triple-double, and most importantly, the Lakers walk away with a win. Again, going to take your comments tonight, and we'll go through the entire game. Actually, we'll grab some comments right now just to catch up, because I'm sure you guys have a lot of emotion just the way I do as well. Craig says right there, Craig, always appreciate being part of the show. Luka, LeBron working well together. They sure did. I mean, they absolutely did. And this is what you wanted to see, where it didn't matter about ego at the end. It didn't matter about getting baskets, and they're extremely working well together. LeBron made the comment a couple days ago. He's a natural quarterback. I'm a natural wide receiver. it's going to work out fine. And that's exactly what we saw. Some of the passes, both these guys, their basketball IQ is through the roof, but just ball spacing and knowing court spacing, and then the way they were able to deliver the ball to each other that made easy for easy baskets. Watch where those two guys are on the floor. It's always amazing to me that guys have been in this league a long time, and we aren't talking about a guy shoots a jump shot and, looking at the rim, which way it's going to come off. That's basic stuff. I'm talking about where they are on the floor, and it's amazing a guy like Luka ends up with as many rebounds as he does. His IQ as far as what's going to happen next, and watch how many times you'll see Luka do what LeBron used to do all the time, where he's pointing exactly, look, we want to get the ball to here. It's going to take 3 passes. And yet now you have 2 guys on the floor that are trying to teach everyone else basically basketball IQ, which, by the way, I think the IQ on the Lakers is extremely high. I think a lot of these guys understand the game, whether it's Rui, whether it's Dorian Finney-Smith. Austin Reeves is getting smarter every time he takes the floor. But I think guys are figuring it out. And a lot of times you see in sports, the smarter team's going to win. We even saw it in the World Series, right? We saw it with the Dodgers and the Yankees. And look, they aren't a very smart team, and they do a lot of things bad. And the Dodgers, everything they said was absolutely true. The smarter team did win. So Daniel says he was at the game, man. Jealous, Daniel. That right there was a great game to be at. Great win, and I'm with you. A win's a win. In the NBA, a win is a win. All these guys are great. And, yeah, there are guys who are missing for the Dallas Mavericks. That doesn't matter. What matters is where it goes in the standings, and where it goes in the standings is in the W column for this team. So, excited to see what the Lakers did, excited to see that it was a great win. It's Sean says it felt like LeBron was open under the basket by the rim in the fourth quarter. Yeah, he was. I mean, LeBron, again, we'll get into his game, but real quick with LeBron was kind of at the beginning, he was aggressive. Then it kind of looked like he took some steps back, kind of wanted to see how this thing was going to play out. And he didn't have a lot of points. Actually, his numbers weren't that impressive. If anything, the turnovers were extremely frustrating for us watching us. And we're going, come on, LeBron, all you have to do is not turn the ball over. And his turnovers were high, but he had like 11 points. And then all of a sudden he goes for, 16 in the fourth quarter. And LeBron, when the Lakers needed him, he stepped up. Like, LeBron has been this way for a long time, where LeBron's as good as you need him to be. And I think LeBron at not only this point in his career, but almost his entire career, when people expect him to take over as far as just take the ball to the basket. I do the same thing. I'm guilty of it as well. Just take the ball to the basket. Just score. And whether you're a fan of his when he's in Cleveland, when he's in Miami with the Lakers, sometimes we feel like he's not aggressive enough, especially when you talk about great players, whether it's a Jordan, whether it's a Kobe, of guys that just took over and said, I understand there are 4 other guys on the floor. I think LeBron is kind of like, Magic used to do, where Magic, obviously took a lot of pride in the passing. But I think with Magic, most importantly, Magic took pride in getting everybody involved, where there's nothing like winning as a team. I think LeBron's that guy as well. But when he has to take over, as he did tonight in the fourth quarter, look, LeBron's the one that led them to a win. All the talk's going to be about Luka facing the Dallas Mavericks and what Luka did in his first game in a triple-double. But if you watch that game beginning to end, and especially if you watched it in the fourth quarter, and you aren't one of these national types that are going to talk about the game in the morning, this is one of those where LeBron stepped up. The MVP of the game tonight was LeBron James. When the Lakers needed him most, he's the one that stopped the bleeding. He's the one that got the baskets. He's the one that did what he needed to do to get this team a win. And that's where he's at in his career right now. Every time he scores a basket, he sets a new record. I understand it. But LeBron, for him right now, it's not about being the GOAT or anything else. It's about trying to get another championship. And for us as fans, that's all we care about as well. LeBron can win 5 more MVP trophies. Guess what? He's not going to let us keep him at our house. That's not the way it works. He cares about the NBA championship, going and winning the NBA finals, and whatever happens from there, building that resume that way before he goes into the Hall of Fame is in the argument of, was he the greatest player of all time? So very pleased with the Lakers tonight and the win. Again, it might not have gone the way that a lot of people thought it was going to go. 107-99 is the final score. We'll get into a breakdown of how that game went, especially the exciting fourth quarter. So don't go anywhere. We're going to sit there and break everything down as far as what happened with this Laker team and how exciting the whole thing was. Real quick, want to mention the people over at DoorDash. Look, NBA fans, get ready. They swoosh, you save. That's right. Thanks to DashPass, every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you score a huge deal the next day. It's simple. Any player scores 50 or more points in a game during the 24-25 NBA regular season, DashPass members get 50% off an order or up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. Now, here's a few ways to take advantage of the deal. Whether it's a game day feast, an epic 50-point performance helps you celebrate by ordering wings, pizza, burgers, you name it. Late night cravings, lunch on the go, fueling your watch party, planning to catch up the next game with your friends. Look, in order to go snacks, meals, discount you get right there. Don't forget about your DashPass. Also, don't forget at the same time, all you have to do is sign up. DashPass can be ready to save when a player scores 50 or more points in a game. DashPass members get 50% off and order the next day, up to $10 off. Just use the promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. Must have an active DashPass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. Again, make sure that you understand what's going on with the DashPass because it's a great opportunity for you. Look, 50% off one order up to 10%. Offer valid from 9 a.m. Pacific time to 11:59 Pacific time after a 50-point performance in any game during the NBA season. On orders placed at participating merchant locations, valid only in the United States. Maximum value of discount of $10. Discount applies to subtotal only. Does not apply to fees, taxes, gratuity. Not valid for pickup. Limit one person per person. Not valid for purchase of alcohol. Fees, taxes, and gratuity still apply. Must have an active DashPass account. Use the promo code NBA50 to redeem. See further terms and conditions at DoorDash. So make sure you look it up right there. So a great opportunity for you in DoorDash in the NBA season this year. All right. So looking at the Lakers as far as what they did and how they got to where they were, again, they win tonight 107-99. We start off in the first quarter for the Lakers. Look, we'll go through it real quick. Starting five. This is your starting five. Who would have guessed before the season that it would be Jackson Hayes, Rui, Austin Reeves, LeBron, and Luka would be your starting five? It's going to be your team basically the rest of the year. As long as everybody is ready to go and everybody feels good, that's going to be your team all the way through the end of the season. I can't imagine that they're going to change the starting lineup up. But the Lakers jumped out to a quick 9-2 lead. Kyrie made back-to-back threes. They cut the score down to 14-13. And or actually, the Mavericks led 14-13 at that point. Luka responded with a long-range three. It was really exciting at this point because Luka looked like he was going to have one of those games. He's going to go for 40. Luka was talking trash to the Dallas Mavericks. I think he was talking trash to the general manager. It was cool to see Mark Cuban there. It was cool to see Anthony Davis in the building. We're not sure that he was going to show up tonight because you knew they were going to make a tribute video, and they did. But it was pretty great. So when Luka hit that three, Dallas calls the timeout. Luka's screaming at the Mavericks. Loved every minute of it. Lakers were led in the quarter by Luka's 9.7 rebounds, 4 assists. Mavericks were led by Kyrie Irving, who was a one-man show. Kyrie scored 14 of 20 points in that quarter for the Mavericks. So pretty incredible. Kyrie's great. I'm going to throw this out here as just a question of the show. My son and I were texting each other during the game. In the history of the NBA, who's the last guy that you'd want to play basketball against one-on-one? And there are a lot of good ones out there. Whether you think there's no way I could guard Iverson, there's no way I could guard Jordan, no way I could guard Kobe. I tell you, for me, I think the guy that would embarrass me the most would be Kyrie Irving. I don't know how anybody basically can guard Kyrie Irving one-on-one. Fast step, great shot, knows how to create space. Kyrie Irving is just an amazing player. A little bit crazy for my taste. All the rumors of him coming to the Lakers, I always got a little bit nervous about that. But one-on-one player, Kyrie Irving is just amazing to watch. Biggest lead for the Lakers in the quarter was 28-20, and that's how the quarter ended, was the Lakers 28-20. Rebounds, Lakers doing fine, 20-14. Assists, Lakers had 5, Mavericks had 2. Bench points, Lakers only had 1. Mavericks had 2. Turnovers, Lakers had 6. Again, the turnovers start to hurt the Lakers. Becomes extremely frustrating. Mavericks had 2. So second quarter, both teams scored 31 points. And so we always say the magic number for the Lakers is let's get to at least 31. Lakers do get to the 30. And but here's the deal. They give up the same amount. So 31 each. The Lakers took a 9-point lead. Jared Vanderbilt's three-pointer. That was big. Vanderbilt didn't shoot the ball bad. One criticism about Vanderbilt is as much as we talk about Luka talking trash, he's the one guy on the team that kind of had a free pass to do it. I still like to see it's competitive. Kind of like you can talk trash while you're on the floor, but during stoppage of play or taking your eye off the defender to sit there and talk trash while a team's running up the court, all that makes me a little bit nervous. Where just not a big fan of talking trash to the bench while the game is still basically in doubt. Lakers went up by 14 on a 3 by Luka, and again, Luka shot 3 free throws, and that's how they go up by 14, 53-39. Caught up on that. If you remember, Luka shot 1 free throw, they call a timeout. Luka drops 2 more free throws. Lakers go on a 13-3 run, making the score 55-39. And so for the Lakers, their biggest lead of the night was 16. Dallas brought that, though, down to 8. And so a little concerning it's only 8. It's Dallas. They're playing shorthanded. You're thinking the Lakers are going to be in good shape. So they go to the half and you're going, okay, how does it look for the Lakers? How are they shooting? Lakers are shooting 44%, 35% three-point range, only 8 of 23 they made. Free throws, Lakers 11 of 14, 79% they are from the line. And so it's frustrating to see the Lakers that they missed 3 of them, but still they're getting to the line that they're shooting 14 attempts, which is a good sign that they're attacking the basket. Mavericks shot 35%, 33% from three-point range. They're only 7 of 21. Lakers, believe it or not, if you recall, Lakers were led by Austin Reeves. He had 14 points in 16 minutes. Austin Reeves was playing great. He's finding his way with other guys on the floor who are options 1 and options 2. Luka had 12 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists at the half. LeBron had 9 points, 6 rebounds at the half. Mavericks were led by, of course, Kyrie Irving's 18 and Max Christie's 10. I don't know how you guys feel. Usually former Lakers, I can't stand them and I root against them. I don't want to see former Lakers basically come back and do damage. But I'm a Max Christie fan. Here's a guy that's so young and was getting better every single game. As we saw him, always had to guard the toughest player on the other team, would get a chance to shoot threes when it was his opportunity. But Max Christie was a guy that everyone's going to talk about the Anthony Davis trade. Not going to say Max Christie's an all-star or anything like that, but Max Christie did everything you could possibly ask as a Laker, and he did it to the best of his ability. So wish nothing but the best for Max Christie as we follow his career. Halftime Lakers rebounds. Lakers still beating the Mavs on the boards, 22-14. Assists, Lakers 13. Mavs 10. Bench points, Lakers up to 13. Mavericks 14. Turnovers, Lakers still high. I mean, this is the one big thing about the Lakers that they do bad is that they get careless and turn the ball over. So 9 turnovers for the Lakers. And eventually that comes back to hurt you, especially the further you go in the playoffs, whether you're facing an Oklahoma City, maybe a Boston Celtics in the finals. These turnovers are going to hurt the Lakers. They got to clean it up a little bit. Unfortunately, the guy we have to clean it up the most is LeBron James. Points scored off turnovers. Lakers only had 2. Mavericks only had 6 points in the paint. Both teams had 22 points in the paint. So here's the stat again for the Lakers. Lakers, when leading at the half, going into tonight's game, 29-5, which is always a good sign. So we've changed that up. Lakers now 30-5 when leading at the half. Third quarter, again, Dallas Mavericks played well. Lakers played bad in the third quarter. Mavericks outscored the Lakers 26-19. Here's a little breakdown on that. 6:02 remaining where it started to get scary. Former Laker Spencer Dinwiddie, he drilled a three-pointer to cut the Lakers lead down to 70-67. 3:41 remaining in the third quarter. The lead 75-72 Lakers. 2:07 remaining in the quarter. It's still 3 points, 78-75 Lakers. And then with 1:30 remaining in the quarter, the Lakers are only up by 1, 78-77. So through 3 quarters, Kyrie Irving led the Mavs with 27 points. Austin Reeves had 20 for the Lakers. Luka almost had a triple-double through 3 quarters, 17 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists. And here we go, LeBron James. Look at these numbers right here. LeBron through 3 quarters, 11 points in 24 minutes. So it's kind of surprising LeBron, 3 quarters had only played 24 minutes, and he's trying to figure out, okay, which way the Lakers are going. They're going to need LeBron. So he only had 11 points through 24 minutes, yet he takes off. He takes off in the fourth quarter and starts on the first possession. LeBron started the fourth quarter with the turnaround baseline jumper. 8:50 remaining, Austin Reeves to LeBron James, 84-70 Lakers. Okay, Klay responds with a three-pointer of his own. LeBron scores again. Klay responds with a 3. And so, again, Klay Thompson looks like old Klay Thompson. Okay, so take a step back from what I just said. So the Lakers, actually, it's 84-80. Okay, let's get on the right track here. 84-80. I was about to say 14-point lead. I don't remember that in the fourth quarter. 84-80. That's a mistype on my end. LeBron James and Klay Thompson go back-to-back. The difference is LeBron's scoring 2s, Klay scoring 3s. So, again, the score now is 86-85 Lakers. 7 minutes remaining. Klay hits a 3, ties the game at 88. 6:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. LeBron hits a 3, scores 91-88 Lakers. 6:16, Marshall drains a three-pointer for Dallas, and again ties the game at 91. So how comfortable are you right now when you're going, oh man, the score's tied 91? It's Dallas eventually going to open this thing up like we've seen other teams do in the past. We saw Charlotte do it to the Lakers not long ago. 5:10 remaining. Lakers take a 92-91 lead on LeBron James' free throw. Sad thing is on the second free throw, LeBron airballed that one. You always wonder, a guy that's that good, not the fact that he airballs a free throw, but you go, how many times is a guy that people talk about being the GOAT, how many times are you actually embarrassed in life? Like, how many times do you do something where, let's say the average Joe goes somewhere and they trip and they fall in a store and people are staring at them, or something embarrassing happens. They go, oh man, I can't believe that happened. Well, you're LeBron. It's a national televised game. And also you're in front of, over 20,000 people looking at you live, and you airball a free throw, which is, a gimme. It's the same damn distance that it is from high school. And yet you're airballing free throws. It's just kind of funny, or kind of, I guess human, that something like that happens. 4:05 remaining in the game. Luka to LeBron for a dunk. It gives the Lakers a 5-point lead, 96-91. 2:20 remaining in the game. LeBron dunks after a Luka miss. It makes the score 102-96. 1:30 remaining in the game. Reeves makes one of two free throws. It makes the score 103-96. We're feeling pretty good. And then all of a sudden, of course, Dallas, they aren't giving up. 1:05 remaining. LeBron assists Reeves for an easy layup. 105-96. Feeling pretty good right there. And 31 seconds remaining. LeBron James layup clinched the game at 107-99. And the Lakers, all of a sudden, they're comfortable right there. And so we're feeling pretty good. We're feeling pretty good as far as what's going on with the Lakers there, and exciting to see what happens. The Lakers get the win. And for Laker fans out there, that's what we need. We need the Lakers to keep rolling like this, because the schedule is going to get tough, and it starts on Thursday with a tough game against Minnesota. I want to mention the people over at FanDuel. We'll get to more of your comments as well, and also go through the box score. But look, when the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you missed the opening tip-off, or you want to bet on the fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay. Example, if you love using FanDuel, just pick out what you want right there. Do you think Luka's going to get a triple-double? Do you think LeBron's going to get 30? Guess what? It's very easy. Plus, the app makes it easier to use as well. If you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers get $150 in bonus bets on your first $5 bet. If it wins, just visit FanDuel.com to join today. It's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right. So here we go. Lakers win. That's 3 straight wins. They have Minnesota coming up on Thursday, and it's going to be an exciting time to see Minnesota come to town. Minnesota is a very good team. I don't think Minnesota really has found their stride the entire year for what was expected, especially after the season they had last year. But this Minnesota team is talented. At the same time, you have guys on that roster that not only want to say, hey, Lakers, your time is in the past, but also they want to sit there and show that, hey, you have Hall of Famers on your team. We have a future young Hall of Famer as well in Anthony Edwards. So it'll be exciting. Sean, he talks about here in the comments, Klay had some massive threes against us in the third. It was annoying. It was. You know what I kept thinking about, Sean? If you remember, his dad obviously is a broadcaster with the Lakers, and Michael Thompson was a great trade in the middle of the season by Jerry West when they brought him in just to basically be a guy that could stop Kevin McHale, and it did. And the Lakers won back-to-back championships in 87 and 88, and Michael Thompson was a big part of that. But remember this summer, Michael Thompson was extremely upset with his son for picking the Dallas Mavericks. He wanted his son to be a Laker. And so when the trade was made and Luka comes to LA, I keep thinking, what does Michael Thompson think? Man, my son should have been here. Like, this would have been a perfect fit. Probably one of the reasons he went to Dallas was because Luka was going to be able to get him wide open shots by driving the lane and finding him wide open. I mean, we can talk about the pass tonight. Luka to Austin Reeves for the 3 was one of the best plays you're going to see. But it was very exciting. So I was wondering what Michael thinks, or if he said, Klay, I told you, you chose the wrong team. You should have stayed home and should have been in Los Angeles, is where you should have been with this Laker team. But Klay Thompson's great. He's a great player, and he's one of those guys that when you talk about great shooters, he's right there in the conversation of the greatest shooters in the history of this league. At the same time, let's see. Sean says, seen Spencer Dinwiddie playing well against us is frustrating. I don't know about you guys, but I like Dinwiddie when he's here. When they made the trade and they got Dinwiddie here from the Nets, I was excited. I go, this guy's an instant offense guy, and it seems like he does this against the Lakers ever since he left. You remember the game where they went to Dallas and Dallas completely ran him out of the building when Dallas was playing shorthanded? At the time, they didn't have Luka, and Dallas completely embarrassed the Lakers. One of the worst losses of the year, yet Dinwiddie completely played out of his mind. So it was unbelievable. And so I don't dislike him, but at the same time, watching him score against the Lakers is frustrating. I wish the Lakers would have kept him, but I was a fan when the Lakers got him and the whole deal. Sean, you ask an interesting question here. Dave, when can we see you at a Lakers game? Sean, I used to go to every Lakers game from 1993 to about 2005. I went to every single Laker home game, every single one. And so at the time, I was just a little history on myself, born in Los Angeles, came down to San Diego for San Diego State, and started a family here. And I would drive up every single day. I'd leave my house at 2 p.m, or I'd get to the Forum, at 2 p.m, and I would get home at 2 a.m. And then I'd go up and do it again. And then I'd do it again. I loved it. Loved every minute of it. And some of my favorite games as far as covering the Lakers, one was I was a huge Magic Johnson fan, as his jersey's right behind my head. But I never met Magic Johnson. I'd watch Magic while I was sitting there doing games. And I said this before, if you haven't caught previous shows, my seat at the Forum was 2 rows behind Chick Hearn. I think I spoke about this just either last show or the show 2 shows before. But my seat was 2 seats behind Chick, who it took me years before I even talked to him, because him and I were the only guys up there as he was getting ready. And finally, I just went up and I introduced myself. I was just kind of intimidated, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy. He was so nice. 2 guys, as they always say, don't meet your heroes. Chick was fantastic. The other guy that was always great was, and I know everybody's heard it, Vin Scully was the nicest person you're ever going to meet. Vin was someone you wish was a family member, and he's everything that people make him up to be. But when I used to cover the games, on the floor would be Kobe Bryant would be there at 2 p.m, and Magic Johnson would be there often, just working out, and Kurt Rambis would be there working out. And it was cool as can be, and getting a chance as I was a young broadcaster, getting a chance to talk to guys like Eddie Jones, and I are the same age, and George Lynch, him and I are the same age, and Anthony Peeler and all those guys. It was a lot of fun. Sedell 3, you guys remember some of those teams. They didn't win championships, but they were guys where I kind of made my way. Cedric Ceballos, the whole deal, and Nick Van Exel. And Nick Van Exel, my favorite Nick Van Exel line that Nick ever told me was, I asked him, I said, hey, Nick, can you do an interview in the morning? And he said, you got it. I'll do that interview. And he says, he said, I'm such a good guy, Dave. I'm going to wake up early so I could spend more time with myself. And it always made me laugh. I thought it was a goofy line, but it made me laugh that he's such a good guy that tomorrow he's going to wake up early so he could spend more time with himself. But that was my time. So I love covering that team. That being said, it's tough for me to get to a game now. Sean, one of my best friends and a guy that used to work for me as a producer when I was doing a morning radio show for years, is Alan Horton, who's now the voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's been the voice for 17 years. And he always says, hey, why don't you come up, do a game when you're the visiting radio, you sit right next to John Ireland and Michael Thompson. And in the same row are the TV guys as well. Bill McDonald, of course, Stu Lance, Stu's a fantastic guy as well. And he'd say, just sit up with me, act like you're doing stats, and you'll have the best seat for the game. And I used to always do the Minnesota LA games. That being said, if I go up on Thursday to do the game, that means I can't do the post-game show. And so I said I would do this, of course, for Locked On Lakers, Locked On Los Angeles, the whole deal. And so I'm not going to the game in person, but man, I do miss it. I love it every single time. And Sean, I'd love to meet you. I'd love to meet some of the guys that go to the games. One day I will make it up to a game, give you guys a heads up, and I would love to meet some of the guys that are nice enough to spend time with me on these Laker post-game shows. So before we get out of here, real quick, going to run through some of the numbers for you guys. Again, tonight was a great night for the Lakers. You had 4 guys score in double figures. LeBron James, again, 27 points, 16 in the fourth quarter. LeBron also had 12 rebounds in the game. Talk's going to be about Luka tomorrow with a triple-double, 19 points, 15 rebounds, 12 assists. And Austin Reeves, don't forget about Austin Reeves. When the Lakers needed him, Austin Reeves was big for the Lakers. Just came out of nowhere with his 20 points, and he had 5 assists on the night. Turnovers, obviously, like to see those turnovers go down. Lakers had 14 turnovers. Free throws, Lakers shot 75%, which I'd love to see them get in the 80s. Lakers were 18-24, and if you lost that game by 1 or 2, you point right back at the free throws. Dallas Mavericks, by the way, if you're wondering what they did, 92% from the free throw line tonight. They made 12 of 13, so they had an outstanding night. So overall, Lakers win, most importantly, 107-99. That's the best thing to happen. And then we will talk about Minnesota Timberwolves, who are coming up on Thursday. Again, Lakers will host the Timberwolves Thursday. Looking forward to that game. And it's a busy time coming up. This is a big week for Laker basketball. Lakers, again, will play on Minnesota on Thursday. Off the top of my head, I believe it's the Clippers on Friday, and then they have the Clippers again on Sunday. So if I got the schedule right just off the top of my head, we have a lot of Laker basketball to talk about. Appreciate you guys joining me on these postcasts. It's getting a lot of fun right now. For me, it's getting a lot of fun. Hopefully for you, it's fun as well. But again, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. So thank you so much for joining me again. Lakers win. Let's all celebrate together. 107-99. Luka with the triple-double. And the king is still the king. LeBron James doing his thing. So thank you so much. We'll see you guys in 48 hours as the Lakers take on Minnesota. Have a great night, everybody. And we look forward to seeing you Thursday. Take care.